All right. Good morning and welcome to another session with the Market Trader. I'm Ray, the Market Trader. Before we get started, let's go ahead and review our risk disclosure here. So we'll take a look at that. So just as a reminder, all the content is being published and distributed by the Market Trader and his affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of the information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more their initial investment. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten our risk disclosure out of the way here, guys, I'd like to go ahead and move into the news portal here. Okay. Good morning, Marcelo. All right. So I'd like to go ahead and move the news portal and take a look at what news we have in store in the market. Okay. So taking a look at the news. We have Governor Bailey speaking here, I guess already I believe has already taken place. We have Fed manufacturing reporting or has reported. We have the NAHB housing market index reporting here at 10 a.m. And then we have Fed daily speaking at 10:20 Eastern. And then we have some economic breakout news coming in at on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Okay, Eastern time. And then we have Fed member Barr speaking, and then we have more executive orders being signed. Okay, so but that's the tail end of the market here. So hopefully that won't impact us much in the markets if we don't get any sort of tweets in the interim. Imagine tweets causing us to tweets causing the markets to be affected. But it is the new world. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here and let's now focus our attention here. Okay, in the news, not news, but trade portal here. Okay, and we'll go ahead and open up the trade portal. Okay, we'll go ahead and start our analysis here. Okay. Oop, that's not the screen I wanted to share. That's weird. Okay, try this again. Okay, this looks better. All right, much better. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our normal markets here. We're going to start off with the gold market. Okay, here. Okay, it continues to rally. All right. Let's take a look at the daily here. Okay, so looking at the daily. All right, we'll go ahead and turn off our ADR and ASR levels here. We don't need two initial balances. We'll remove that as well. Okay, all right. So taking a look again, gold continues to make higher highs and higher lows. Okay, we have a developing bullish engulfing candle, not bullish engulfing, maybe a bullish piercing candle here, and we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Okay, and the market volume delta appears to be supportive. Okay, we had a strong bearish engulfing. Maybe there were some folks kind of maybe taking some profits here, and now we've come back and restored. Everything is right in the world. And we've come back and are now currently developing a somewhat of a bullish piercing candle in the gold. So nothing on the daily chart is indicating anything more than continued upside in the markets. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Don't need that at the moment. We'll turn that off. Okay, so again, we had a little bit of a pullback. Came back to a known level of support here around 28.85 here. Okay, so this is the area that I'm speaking of here. Okay, we've come back to an area of support and have now rallied. Okay, we're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. We're above our daily VWAP, but we still have some room to the upside. Okay, we still have the 2960 level, which I expect to be somewhat resistant. Okay, so we'll go ahead and label that. All right, so we'll mark that in as an area that maybe will pose some resistance here, in this market. But otherwise, we're starting to, I guess I'm a little bit of late. We've been a little bit of in range. Okay, a little bit of concerned about this move here while we stay inside these two bearish candles. Okay, as long as we stay inside these two bearish candles, I feel like there's maybe an opportunity here at some point where maybe sellers could step into the market. Okay, so I'm kind of looking to see if obviously price can get above this 2963 level, and then that will probably open up the door here a little bit more for a further upside. Okay, otherwise I feel like we're kind of in a little bit of a range in this market. Okay, and while this is making higher highs and higher lows, I still feel like we're still in maybe potentially in the potential control here by the sellers until they decide that they'd like to step in again. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. So 30-minute chart, we are above our 233-day EMA. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile for the start of Monday here. So right about there, and kind of drag that across here to the close of Monday, right about. Oh, well, Monday was kind of an abbreviated session here, so that's why I'm kind of, so we'll do this like this. Okay, so we are well above, the value range, for Monday. Okay, we again continue to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. If I go ahead and extend this line here over to the right, you can see that this is our value area high range. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Initial balance has already, has started here. Okay, and then so we're going to go ahead and adjust this not for Asia, but for the regular trading hours. Okay, so here we are. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I have my kind of extension lines. I'm kind of experimenting with this a little bit. Not sure if I'm going to keep them. I might make the charts a bit too busy, but we have a initial balance extension. Okay. And really, honestly, I don't see any major resistance. Okay, between where we are now and 2963. Okay. So it'll be interesting for me to see whether or not we indeed extend to the upside in this market, because I do see that we do have a little bit of a runway, although this pattern does appear a bit a bit corrective. I'm looking at this same swing that I was looking at before here, but nonetheless. Okay, we're going to wait for this initial balance range to establish. And if we do indeed get an extension in one direction, then I don't see that there's anything that necessarily stands in the way of price maybe eventually reaching 2963. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen today, because again, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should be drawing something along these lines. All right, where I'm drawing these extensions. Okay, this retracement levels. Okay, so we're at 0.618 and we're about to exceed it here. Okay, close above it, and then we have our points 76 here. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how we react. Price reacts around this 0.618 level, because again, I do see a swing, and this feels like a little bit of a corrective pattern here. Okay, that's kind of why I'm kind of looking at the retracement levels at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and open up our ADR and ASR levels here. Okay, so you can see that we've already exceeded the ADR levels. It's getting kind of busy here, so I'm going to remove some of these drawings, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my ASR here, and we'll go ahead and adjust this for London, okay, and see where we are with respect to London, okay. And you can see here that we have a ways away, a little bit of a distance to get up to London here. Okay, I'm just going to kind of shut down some of these levels here. Just going to try to make this as visible as possible for folks here. Okay. All right. So I don't see any reason why we cannot eventually get up to 2940. Okay. Before we see any some potential move to the downside. Okay. So this area up here at 2940 looks like an area where we might see maybe a potential reversal in price. Okay. We've been on a steady climb in overnight trading ever since the close. So the markets, we've been on a steady climb, and as a result, we've been somewhat extended here from VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP for during London. So you can see here that price has extended. I mean, is above and extended above both VWAP. It's also above this anchor VWAP for London. Okay. So the question remains, do we rally up to this level, which I that's kind of my view here, before we see any sort of major retracement? That's kind of what I'm thinking of. Okay. But certainly there's a potential opportunity here, maybe to this level. Now, these are London levels. These will get adjusted here once the market opens in New York. But nonetheless, we have a target here on to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm currently seeing in this market. I think for me to really participate on the bullish side, I'd like to see maybe somewhat of a pullback, maybe down to some level below, like the one that the arrow is kind of alluding to, maybe down to this level. This would be kind of a logical area for me to want to participate in maybe a long trade, right? We have this kind of area here. That seems to be, I'm just a little bit concerned that we are coming up against ASR here that could produce some sort of reversal in price. Not a guarantee, but the possibility is there. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the gold market. I'm just taking a peek here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. Crude oil, not XL1. Let's all right. So taking a look at the crude oil market, we'll again open up the daily and get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. And like I said, we've been kind of hovering around this demand zone, but really have not really, moved away from it all that much. Okay. So we are in an area of demand, but we still remain in we are in bearish structure to the downside. Okay, we continue to make, although an argument can be made that maybe we are forming a little bit of a W pattern here at 70.62. All right, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, this becomes a little bit more visible. I'm going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Technically, initial balance is not opened yet. But you can see here we have a little bit of, I'm going to turn off ADR here for a moment and ASR. just to kind of get a really good look at this formation here. Okay. So similar to what I was kind of suggesting, I guess intimating to some degree in the gold, this feels a little bit weaker, but we have a swing lower. This looks like a little bit of a kind of an ABC, okay, and maybe we do have a little bit of an extension, okay, to the downside in this market. Okay, we have a swing, we have a little bit of a retracement, and maybe another leg to the downside. That's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our ADR and ASR here. ADR and ASR. Okay. Here. Let's see. Where is that? ASR. Where are you? Where did I do it? There it is. Okay. So there's our ASR levels. We got a nice rejection, okay, of this level here. Again, these things happen more often than not. Okay, we've reached the ASR level and we've reversed away from it. Okay, now we're back down to the low end of the range, and the question is, are we going to reverse here, or are we just going to go ahead and continue to the downside? Okay, that's I guess the question that we're all asking ourselves. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and again look for the open of Monday session, which was abbreviated here. So we'll just take this all the way here. And so here we are back inside value from Monday. Okay, we've already kind of reversed away from ASR high here. Okay. And now we're down at ASR low levels. Okay. Not quite daily levels, but ASR levels. Okay. Now this is levels for London. Okay. Now the question that we need to ask ourselves is, now that we're back inside value, are we going to continue our trek to the downside? Okay. A little bit of indecision. Okay. A little bit of indecision that we have here. It looks like some buyers kind of stepped in here, or maybe could have been sellers taking some profits. But in any case, we are, kind of coming into an area where we could see some buyers. Okay. And we're at these levels 70, 73 that could offer us maybe a reversal in price. Okay. The problem I'm seeing right now is that it seems rather weak. Okay. We could muster was a very much an indecisive candle here in the markets. And now we're back to developing a kind of a bearish engulfing candle. Now, initial balance, I'm not displaying purposely, because initial balance is still technically not open. Okay. We are hovering around value area high here at 71.14. Okay. And we have ASR high here at 72.11, which we've already reversed away from. Okay. So we are coming into this demand zone. The question is this going to provide us maybe an area for a reversal in price, or are we going to see a continuation move to the downside? My current feeling is that given the kind of the muted response here, that there's still some more downside opportunities in this market. Okay. I'm kind of looking to the left here to see if there's anything that maybe kind of strikes me as maybe supportive here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mark this level here as supportive down this level here. Okay. I mark that in as green. Okay. So this level I would expect to be somewhat supportive. And then ultimately down around this 70 level where we have the ADR ranges. Okay. So right now I would say that my view is a bit bearish in the crude oil. Again, I'm going to be looking to maybe have, initial balance kind of guide me. Again, we're kind of coming up against this ASR level, which could, again, provide some sort of bounce. Okay. Some sort of bounce in this market. Okay. That is always a possibility when we reach these kind of statistical levels. Okay. So again, I'm coming into this a bit bearish. I'm going to wait for the initial balance range to establish. and then wait for that extension to determine whether I'm going to be looking for a potential bearish trade. I'll let price, dictate what direction we want to go here. Okay. Right now, it does look very much bearish to me. Okay. All right. So we're about a few minutes away from the initial balance range. We'll go ahead and move on. But before we move on, so again, guys, I do see a fair number of likes. Do appreciate that. We also have some other ways of showing support for me. I do have this. What is this? Super sticker, super chat. Things that you can support me in my continued endeavor here of giving you some analysis on the markets. But yeah, so again, don't be shy with the likes. Don't be shy with the comments. I do very much support those folks who have commented about my analysis. Goes a long way in continuing and supporting me in providing this content on a daily basis. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to the NQ. All right. So the market that everybody's interested in here, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. I'll look at the daily chart again, but again, we seem to be continuing to make moves higher here, right? So we had drawn this trend line in the past, but I will draw it again. Okay. You can see here that we've clearly broken this consolidation, whether you want to call it a descending wedge or whether you want to call it a symmetrical angle. Okay. Again, we've made a steady push above it. Okay. Okay. So again, this to me, again, the magnitude of this move could be rather significant. Okay. Right. So this could lead us, somewhere above to, 23,000. Okay. Based on this kind of consolidation pattern that I'm seeing. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay. We have our kind of a steady series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn off ADR here for a moment, just to get further clarity in this market. I don't like when I'm doing this kind of higher time frame analysis, I don't want to be, encumbered with any sort of indicators. Okay. So we've broken this top end of this consolidation range, and we really haven't looked back ever since, right? We have consistently made some higher highs and higher lows, and we have a developing bullish engulfing candle. I understand that we're about an hour away from this candle establishing, but nonetheless, it still remains bullish. Okay, I'm looking to the left here to see if there's anything here that could cause price to stall, and I do see that we do have a 4-hour level here around this level. Okay, that could cause that could be a logical location for price to reverse away from. Okay, right around let's say 22,400. Okay, that seems like a logical level where we could see maybe some stalling in price. Okay, all right. Let's take a look. Yeah, so this area right here is going to be interesting for me, just based on what we saw here when it came to these levels in the past. Okay, so this seems like a logical area, 22,380 up to 22,435. This could be kind of a little bit of a sell zone. Okay, in this market. All right. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to take a look and kind of expand this out here. We're going to do a little bit of volume analysis here and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value. Okay, volume in this case. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and start from Monday. Okay, starting at this 9:30 and dragging that across. I know a very abbreviated session here. Okay, to that level there. Okay, and you can see that price is well above value. Okay, so this area down below, okay, value area high will serve in the future. I would expect that will serve as a kind of logical kind of bounce point. Should we arrive at that? Okay. this would be a kind of a logical area where I would expect price to be supportive. Okay. All right. So we've got our volume profile. Let's go ahead and add our ADR and ASR. Okay. So there's our ADR. Okay. So it's well above here. Okay. Right around the same levels that I've drawn that supply zone, right? Smack in the middle is our average daily range high. Okay. In addition, we have ASR high, ASR, okay, also coming in right around in those levels. So I have a couple, actually 3 areas of confluence that tell me that this area could be somewhat resistant, but we still have a fair amount of room before we get to those levels. Okay, if we do see a break above, let's say this area here, say a break above 320, that could lead to some bullish price action up to this level. Now, if I do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis and kind of measure this extension, okay, this will probably bring me to the same levels that we're talking about here. Okay, so here we are, some more data to support, right? This 22,387.50 would be the 100% extension of this swing here. Okay, so yet another data point that this could be not only a target for price, but also a price area where price could potentially reverse. Okay, once we come into this area here. Okay, all right. Let's see. Anything else that I'm overlooking here? Initial balance still a ways away, more than 26 minutes away from the initial balance. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. So only thing I want to add here is my anchored VWAP. Here, I'm going to go ahead for the start of London. Okay, was right about here. Okay, so you can see that London sell-off was short-lived before the bulls have taken the bull by the horn, so to speak. Okay, so we see price is above our anchor VWAP. It's above our daily VWAP. It's above our value. Okay, so again, it appears that we want to continue to the upside. Now, very important, I guess, for me to see is that we need to get above 22,320 in order to really kind of maybe see that we do get indeed to some of these levels above us. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Again, like we're about 25 minutes away from the initial balance range. Okay, we've gotten to a level, we've kind of retraced away from it a little bit. Now we're back at that level again. The question is do they have the participants to break price, to break through this area to the upside, or are we going to maybe make a little bit of a retracement? That would make it actually quite nice. If it made a little bit of a retracement back to some of these levels here, this would be an area I would say that would be should be quite supportive. Okay, this area right around value area high. Okay, this area right here would be I would suspect would be an area that would be quite supportive of maybe a bounce and maybe price to continue. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in this market. Again, I'm going to be waiting for this initial balance to establish, and then I'll maybe see what it offers me in the way of some opportunities. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm not seeing any questions, so we'll go ahead and move on to the ES. All right, so the ES, we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings here. Okay, we're going to look at this from a daily perspective. Okay, looking at this from a daily perspective, and it's given us the same kind of information that we've been seeing. Now, what's interesting about this, and maybe that's something I did not notice in the NASDAQ, is the fact that we are starting to get above some of these levels here. Now, we still have this candle is still very much developing, but if we do manage to get above these daily levels, that could serve as the catalyst for some continued price move to the upside. Again, doing a little bit of Fibonacci analysis, kind of forecasting the future a little bit. That could this break above this level here could lead us up to 6306. Okay, 100% extension of this move here. Okay. So it's going to be relatively important to understand whether we do indeed close the day above this level here, because this level has been an area of resistance in the past. Okay. We've kind of come up to this level once, sold off, came up to it again, sold off, but not to the same degree as we did the first time. So indicating that we are getting a little bit of buying pressure here. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. Here we are. Here are our ADR levels. Okay. We still have that 61. I don't know where that came from for that 60. That ADR high is coming close to our 61.8% extension of that swing that I had drawn. Okay. We are starting to break again some highs structured to the upside. Okay, we have another level here that we're 6160 that we're currently entertaining. Okay, all right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stretch this out here. We have, again, a lot of areas of confluence here that indicate maybe this would be kind of an area, sell zone around 61.75.50, maybe 61.80, somewhere in that range. Seems to be somewhat an area maybe we could anticipate some resistance. Okay. Price is currently above our VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw in our fixed range volume profile for the abbreviated session that we had yesterday. But we'll go ahead and do that anyway. All right, to start and close here. Okay. Now, if you wanted to take this back to Friday and include kind of the overnight session, that's certainly not out of the realm of possibility here. Okay. And it's really not giving us all that much difference in view here. Okay. So looking at this again, I would expect that this area right here around 6140 to be somewhat supportive. Okay. I'm also looking at this anchor VWAP that's been developed or started, this kind of a V that was created in London. Okay. That's another kind of area that kind of a guide to continued potential price movement to the upside. Now we're starting to break above these levels. Okay, so this level right here, I'm going to adjust this up here to this over here. So if we can get a 30-minute close above, okay, that could provide us maybe the necessary catalyst for a move to the upside. Okay. I would like to see that push and then maybe use that same level that it left as kind of give me a push and then use that same level that it left, okay, as maybe an area. I don't want to be a part of the initial push. Okay. I'd rather sit on the sidelines. If I miss it, I miss it. Okay. But what I would like to be a part of is if I get a push close, then I would like to participate on the pullback here. Okay. Right around this, I'm just going to call it 61, I don't know, 61.55, 61.56, somewhere in this range. Okay. I would like to participate in the pullback, right? I don't want to be the first one to kind of, but I do want to, kind of similar to what we saw here, right? We got to push, right? We got to push and then we got to pull back. And this area right here, offered us a nice area where we can manage our risk. Okay. This area right here. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking for similarly here. Okay. Give me my push. Show me that I have the market participation to drive price higher. And then what was resistance becomes supportive. And then that's where I would like to, 61.56.75 seems to be like a logical area for an execution to the upside. Okay. All right. Obviously we have this other level here down below, but if we were to come down to this level, I feel like that would kind of maybe intimate that we're maybe going to be in range for most of the session. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, volume delta seems to be supportive of the current move to the upside. So that's for those who are interested in longs. Otherwise, this would be kind of a not necessarily a bad area for at least a reversal back to VWAP. Okay, more of a little bit of a scalp trade, but given the momentum that we're seeing to the upside, it seems like the path of least resistance seems to be higher. Okay. All right. Just kind of taking a peek here, seeing if there's any questions. I'm not seeing them, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the last market here. Okay. But again, before I move on to that session, before you kind of exit the doors here, again, encourage folks, if you found some of this information helpful, um, please hit the like button. If you want to be notified when some of these kinds of sessions are going to be available, don't be hesitant on hitting the subscribe button to be notified as well. And then we do have a membership portal as well to give you guys access to some premium content. So we have a membership behind this as well. Yeah. So any ways that you can support my continued analysis here would be very much welcomed. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the Dow. We'll move on to the daily chart here, and we'll take a look at what the Dow is doing. Okay. Now the Dow seems to be content in staying inside this range. Okay. I'm just going to turn off some of my indicators here just to kind of give me some visibility, better visibility here. Going to remove some of my drawings, okay, and kind of get a fresh look at this. So we have a relatively strong move to the upside, and we've been kind of in this kind of rangy kind of price action of late, okay. Again, kind of drawing my little consolidation pattern here, okay. I see a little bit of a kind of a triangle pattern that's forming here. Not the perfect. I'm trying to kind of capture as many of these candles as I can here. But nonetheless, we do see a little bit of a consolidation pattern on the upper end of the range, right? So while I don't know exactly what direction we're going to head, I can see that the magnitude of this move is going to be somewhere in the order of this, right? So as we approach this apex here, okay, we're either going to move to the upside or we're going to move to the downside, okay? I can't tell you what direction that's going to be, but I have an area here where I can, kind of gauge and monitor the progress of this consolidation. There's a move in the horizon. Okay. So as we get closer, as we kind of coil into this apex, there's going to be a move. The question is what direction. That I can't tell you. Okay. But there is going to be a move in one of these directions, either to the upside or to the downside. Okay. Something of the same magnitude here. Okay. It's a little bit shorter, but okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart, again, that's that same consolidation kind of triangle pattern that we've been talking about. Now, of the three markets that we've the three equity markets that we've been looking at, this market feels a little bit more bearish, okay, than the other two. Okay. So we've kind of made a swing lower. We've had kind of a little bit of a retracement here. It feels heavy. Okay. It feels like it wants to continue to the downside. Okay. That's the sense I'm getting in reviewing these charts on the Dow. It feels like it wants to go down. Okay. 30-minute chart. All right. 30-minute chart. We have some developing price action to indicate that view. Okay. Here we are. We have our, price channels here. Okay. Also indicating we're getting some breaks of structure here. And if we do manage to get below 44,641, I really don't see anything necessarily standing in the way to get from, say, 44,500. Okay. If we do manage to get below, say, 44,640, for example. Okay. Now, we did have price come to that level and we reacted away from it, but we were not able to make a new high. And that's, I would say that's relatively important to take away here. Okay. Moving on to my fixed range volume profile. Again, I'm going to start with the Monday session here. I'm going to start with this and then drag this all the way to the close here. just say this level here. Okay, so of the three equity markets, the Dow very much feels like the weakest of the three. We do have price below value where we've had price above value in the other equity markets. So again, this could definitely lead to further downside in this market. Okay, we've already gotten a close price to close below this channel here, and that could lead to some sort of leg here. Now, again, this is going to be kind of my line in the sand for this market. If we are not able to hold, say 645, then I would say that we revisit 600 and maybe as low as 550. Okay, in the short order. Okay. All right. Still, let's see. We're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP here for the start of London. The start of London was back here. Okay, so you can see that we got a lot of markers here, right? We have our daily VWAP prices below. We have our anchor VWAP prices below. We have price starting to get below our EMA. Okay, every time we've come down to this EMA level, below EMA level, that's caused price to react away from it. Same here, price reacted away from it. Now the question is are we going to get the same? Are we going to get price to react away from it? Notice it didn't take us all that long. Okay, from here to here, right? Now we're right back at this question. Okay, so again, of the three markets, this continues to be a market that I think feels a bit heavy. Okay, if we do manage to get a close of below, okay, same deal, right? Once we break a level, if we get a close below, I'm going to use that same level, okay, as an area to support an execution. Okay, something along those lines, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm always looking to enter on some sort of retracement. Okay, I do not want to be a part of the initial push. I let the market participants with the guys with the big cachet boxes, okay, who carry the big funds, to let them kind of duel out and set the path. And then once they set the path, then that's where a level like 44,640 could be a level where I could potentially participate in this continuation move to the downside. Okay. All right. So we're about 10 minutes away from the open of this session. We're getting a little bit of push through this area. So I'm not going to be enticed to undertake this at this point, but I do see that there might be some opportunities here if we do not hold. Okay. 44,640. If we do get a push below it, then I would say that there is maybe a possibility here of maybe some further downside price movement. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much the analysis that I have today, guys. Like I said, two of the three equity markets, I would say, look bullish to me. Dow is probably the weakest. We have crude oil that is also looking a bit weak, and then gold continuing to make its trek higher. Okay, so that's kind of, in summary, kind of what I'm seeing. Hey, Sue, good morning. So yeah, unless there's any questions, guys, that's pretty much what I have. This recording is going to be immediately available here in my YouTube portal there. So don't be hesitant to hit likes and comment on how you found the analysis. I'm assuming supportive. Okay, but certainly would be interested in hearing your feedback along those lines as well. Okay. So unless there's any questions, guys, I'm going to give you guys 9 minutes to kind of, finalize your final plans here as to how you're going to approach the markets today. Coming into a market with a plan is always better than coming into a market without a plan. So having a sense of some of the levels that you want to take a look at and participate in always is beneficial. Okay, and actually having price react to that actually builds some mental capital to support further analysis down the road. All right. Okay, guys. So I think that's it for me. And as we close every session, we want to trade well. We want to trade safely. We want to trade like pros. We want to be market traders, guys. All right. That's it for me. We'll go ahead and close out the session. Look forward to seeing some of you in group coaching later this afternoon, or maybe in the coaches raise room on the Top Step server. Okay. Until then, we'll talk to you then. Have a great day. Have a great session. Again, don't be hesitant with the likes and subscribes as you leave. And we'll see some of you either in Coach's Raise room in Top Step or in the in group coaching later this afternoon. Until then, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.